Hello, hello. This is Jen. I hope everybody's good. I'm here with an energy update. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're not new. Thank you for being here. So, the end of November is coming up, and on the 30th, we have a lunar eclipse on top of a full moon. I did in my last video an update for this lunar eclipse, so I'm going to focus on what's coming after for more for December and for this full moon. There is this wind of change in the energy, in the collective energy, lots of mixed emotions because people are not seeing clearly what is going on, what they're working on, and what they're trying to integrate physically. This is a very high time to integrate all those spiritual lessons that we've been through lately. We are in this phase of lessons, of learning, of improving ourselves, of changing our outlook on life, changing our perceptions, and stopping the projection on others. December will be a big month for integration, physical integration, that is. So, as I often explained in the past, it starts on the spiritual plane where there is this energy going on in the unified field, and it is our role to bring it down to our physical reality. This is what we're going through, all of us, collectively, divine masculine, divine feminine. And at this point, I've been noticing a huge shift in the twin flame energy. If we go back a few years ago, not too many people were talking about twin flame. And then at one point, we were bombarded by many different channels or outlets, many different sources for twin flame talk. And none of these sources had the same information. And at that time, I understood that we all had a different part to play in that information, into bringing that information out there. We were each holding a different piece of the puzzle or piece of the information based on what we were going through, based on what we were channeling or seeing. And then after that, we saw a huge cleanup. A lot of people just completely disappeared, and a lot of people started talking about different things regarding the twin flame connection. A lot of people do believe that we only have one twin. Some people believe that we do not. What I channel, and as always, I don't claim to have the absolute truth. This is what I channeled. So it may apply to you, it may not, so be it. If it doesn't, that's okay. If you don't resonate with that, that's okay. What I channeled when it comes to twin flames, and this shift that we went through in the past 3 months, is that the label really doesn't matter. And if you've been following me for some time, you know that I don't care about labels. Is we need to see the twin flame connection more like a divine partner connection. Too many people are hanging on to the twin flame, when in fact we can have many different divine partner, like different people with a twin flame energy, with one that we can co-create, just like if it was the one twin. So again, this is what I channeled. Doesn't mean that it applies to everyone. It doesn't mean that it's the truth above everything else. It's just one part, one teeny part, tiny part of what the twin flame energy really is. Because if you look at it in one way or one angle, what is a twin flame energy? If we put aside the fact that it's the split of the soul in two bodies, it's an energy. When these two bodies meet physically, there's a third energy emerging from these two people. So What I mean by divine partner is that that third energy can definitely be created with a divine partner, with someone that may not be your twin, but maybe a twin to another, because the energy is there in that physical body. It's already there. The codes are there. So that third energy can exist when these two people come together. Many twin flames have been in separation for years, and some of them are not set to meet again. So whether you choose to call it a pre-twin or a catalyst or, all these other labels, it doesn't change the fact that this person may be the one twin for you, but it's totally possible to have a divine partnership with someone else. We all have free will. So we all have free will. If one twin doesn't want to be part of this, if one twin doesn't want to be part of this, the universe sends a replacement. So, and there's more to channel when it comes to that. I have some work to do. And funny how I was saying not too long ago how detached I was from this and how I wanted to change my content, but it always seems like I can't get away from it. It always seems like there's more knowledge that is being shown that I can access and channel. And as I often think, it's impossible to know everything about everything. So take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And that's it. As far as the full moon goes and the lunar eclipse, it will be a drastic change in the energies. The divine masculine will rise up, and so will the divine feminine. Actually, the divine masculine will line up, which to me has a different component to it. Line up, meaning that a lot of them have been in resistance for quite some time, for too long. For a lot of them, just refusing to see the divine aspect of things in life. And because these two energies will rise up together at the same time, and I don't remember seeing this in the past before. I've always remember seeing one or the other rising up at one point and then the other one catching up. But now it doesn't feel like it's a catching up thing. It's more like, let's rise together. Let's do this together collectively and together as feminine, masculine on all levels. So collectively and individually, like personally in our lives. And you may be starting to feel this. That's the full moon and the lunar eclipse. That's what they will bring. On one part, the full moon will bring, if it hasn't showed up yet for you, because it's possible that you've been through it over the weekend and last week or so, a huge layer of surrender, releasing, and really releasing even things that you thought you had cleared, releasing on a collective level, releasing the resistance, releasing the false identities, the twisted paradigms in the divine masculine energies of, as a man, I need to be this way. As a man, I cannot be this way. Releasing feelings of being unworthy, feelings of lack in every sense of the word, lack of self-love, lack of love, lack of material things, lack of abundance, lack at large, scarcity as well. And that will be mainly triggered by the divine masculine rising up to the plate. rising up to where they need to be to start a new mission for them. That eclipse is also bringing a lot of changes in personal missions, in twin flame or divine partner missions. So perhaps, I don't know, maybe from this point on, I'll stop using the twin flame and replace it by the divine partners, because that's really what's present in the energy at this time. The label is irrelevant, but the definition as we knew it is also irrelevant at this point, because that's not the point. The point is not about finding the other half of your soul. The point is putting your mission forward and working on your mission, personal and then collective mission, including the one that you have with your divine partner. And this kind of energy, if you look back, you probably had either a romantic relationship where it was almost that kind of energy, or a friendship where it was that kind of energy. That energy where everything lights up, where everybody, strangers or not strangers, when they see you together, you have an effect on them. They notice and they recognize that sparkling energy. That's the divine partner energy that I'm referring to, which can also be twin flame energy. But the definition, the old definition, is no longer relevant at this point. I know it may shock some people. I know it may disturb some people. And I'm sorry if it does. That's not the point. It's information that I channeled, that I'm bringing out there. And I know I'm not the only one who channeled this. I'm never the only one. So it's just take a moment to reflect on that. So the divine masculine will be clearing outdated stuff. Again, fears, past traumas in all areas of their lives. A lot of them kind of like went back to karmic stuff, and now they're gonna, let that go once and for all. And they are or will be getting ready to embrace a new outlook on relationships. After they've released, they're going to be able to liberate themselves and make themselves available, ready to share, ready to embrace the divine partnership that they are seeking, because they are seeking the same thing as the divine feminine. It's just that at some point, I believe the divine feminine was a little bit ahead of herself or themselves by being made a little bit in advanced, by, being the first one to be spiritually awakened. And now all these things, they don't make a difference anymore. Everybody's awakened to a different level, but everybody is. Everybody is. And at this point, that split, new earth, old earth, has shifted as well, and is going to continue shifting after the lunar eclipse, after the full moon, after the collective has released those programs. A lot of people are already in the new earth, living by those new dimensions and rules, even though they're not really rules, but more like way of life. They're already in it. It's just that the vast majority are not there yet. It's the early majority that is in that new earth kind of energy. And once we pass that full moon, lunar eclipse, the vast majority will be stepping in those new ways of co-creating, living, manifesting. So talking about manifesting, December is a huge month to manifest. We are integrating whatever we've been working on spiritually. We are integrating that physically. Whenever that happens, we see a shift and a change in our body, and that's usually where we get all kinds of symptoms, physical symptoms. That's usually where we feel like our body gets hot, gets cold, we have difficulty sleeping, our eating habits usually change as well, and we just feel elevated, we feel motivated, and most of the time we don't know why. We don't know precisely why we feel that motivation. Just being present in our energy in the background and pushing us into doing our things. When we start physically integrating those things that we've been working on, we also tend to change our physical environment, or we tend to get prepared for something, even though we don't know exactly what that something is. We just feel like we need to do stuff with no apparent reason. But there is a reason. We've been working on it spiritually. And I think it was my last video, maybe the one before, that I was talking about a solar plexus upgrade. A lot of people were blocked on that level. Solar plexus chakra was totally blocked, as if it was non-existent, as if it was completely shut down, closed off. And a lot of people have been doing the work to unblock this and to move past this, which means that those spiritual energies can be received by the solar plexus to be integrated physically. It's always the same process, always the same pattern. It starts above and it needs to make its way down physically. And the way we do it doesn't really matter. Some people will do it with a very spiritual approach, and other people will do it with a more earthly approach. It doesn't matter how. What matters is the result. So again, we are called to be clearing stuff. In order to bring the masculine feminine energy into harmonious union, both parts need to clear the skeleton in their closets and shed their skin, the old skin. The divine masculine will be called to be working on that first half of December, while the feminine energy will be still working on integrating physically whatever spiritual work they've been doing. And then starting mid-December, there will be a switch in those roles. Like the feminine will just shed an old skin and start working on something else, while the divine masculine will be integrating physically. And at that point, the balance between those two energies will be almost equal. And I don't ever remember seeing that before. Ever. That's pretty big. Even though in December and with the holidays coming, I know it's going to be very difficult for a lot of people because of what's going on with this virus and all the rules that we need to play by. But really, spiritually, it's a very high time to manifest, to integrate, to change your life around, to change yourself around and redeem whatever is lingering, whatever is undone, whatever is left over. Redeem whatever you want. So be prepared for a full throttle release, really head on, full on, release. Seriously, get prepared for that. All the fears, everything related to lower energies, like fears, lack, scarcity, self-love, lack of self-love, lack of abundance, financial lack, and all that stuff. And pay attention to the mirror effect. There is a huge mirror effect going on at this point, and it's going to be elevated and increased during the month of December, right after the eclipse. I remember saying how instant these things are now, and now they're more than instant. More. It's it's almost as if you're not even done thinking about something in your mind that it already happens. That will serve as a lesson for the divine masculine, because they will get a lot of their own reflection in that mirror effect. And same thing for the divine feminine, but they will be reflected what they need to work on, but in a different way than the divine masculine. Let me try to find the right words to explain that, because it's not totally clear. So the divine masculine will be reflected. Whatever, triggers need to be set on, need to be on for them to keep continuing doing the work. And the feminine will just be reflected, that's not the right word, so let me take it out, will be reflected the possibilities, the opportunities, that new earth energy at a different level, at a different layer. In the image, it looks like, the movie Avatar, how beautiful everything is, full of color and all that stuff. That's what the divine feminine will be looking at in December. And that may come as a shock for a lot if you're unprepared for this. So maybe you want to take some time before the full moon to set your intentions, to be ready and open to receive that, work on that, especially if you identify as a grid worker or an architect of this world. You're going to be amongst the first to receive those energies, or to feel them, not necessarily receive them, but to feel them, and you're going to start working right away. December is also a very high time for reunion with divine partners. Holidays aside, that's not what I'm referring to, but soul union, soul relationships. Those connections are real. Whether people want to see them or not, whether people are afraid of them or not, the full moon will take care of the fear part. So if you want to get prepared for that, have the intention that whomever you need to be connected to will be able to release the fears, receive clarity, and move on onto their own path. The space for ego is non-existent at this point, and I don't think it will ever come back, even though we may be challenged with some people in their ego, but definitely as a collective, a lot has changed quickly. Our relationship with time, has also changed. You may be feeling that time is different, definitely different. It goes by very quickly, as if you blink and then boom, it's gone. 24 hours doesn't feel the same than it did last year, for example. If you resonate with that, you know exactly what I mean. It's as if everything is going faster. And it is. Scientific people are talking about this because the energies are shifting, because more and more people are awakened and seeing things differently. Our relationship with time has changed. Other than that, in December, we are called to stop repeating the same cycles and doing the same things over and over again, or trying to manifest based on the past. That's a recipe for disaster, meaning that you can't base yourself on what happened in the past to try to manifest something different. You need to start on a different ground. So for these people that met their twin flames and that are in separation and that are set to meet a divine partner, leave the old story behind. if you want that new relationship to work or to be easier than what it was with your twin flame. Leave the past in the past, forgive and forget. Move on. Leave the door right open to that new divine partnership. Some of you already are receiving or have received information about that relationship, that person, directly from their guides, or even that person's higher self. Maybe you heard them saying, I'm coming. Maybe you heard their guide saying they are getting prepared. So leave the door open. That's the advice for December. Leave the door open, like surrender to everything, surrender to what is. That's the only way to navigate through the end of the year and keep our balance at the same time. So that's it for now. Thank you for being here. You can follow me on social media at IndigoGirl555 on Instagram, Indigo Girl on Facebook. You can also use my email at indigogirl555 at gmail.com. And until the next time, be well.